like to dedicate tonight's performance to a dear friend of mine, a girl called Hala. I've known Hala since she was 13. She lives in Gaza, in Palestine. And we, a group of us, have supported Hala and encouraged her to write, as well as telling stories which are beautiful. She has also written her diary of 2024 and 2025, and it's just been published. It's called Ga2a Girl, and I'm inviting you, if you would wish, to get a copy this evening. Make a donation if you wish, using the QR code, or you can give some cash to me, minimum of £5. Hala wrote at the beginning of the book, "My name, Hala, means the aura of light surrounding the moon. Perhaps it's my destiny that the moon be my most faithful companion. I hope to reflect her light on my homeland and then on the world. My dream? To look at the moon, hoping to one day look at it with eyes filled with happiness, with the one I love. To see a sky full of stars, undisturbed by warplanes. To feel no confusion between a bomb exploding or a twinkling star. The stars, we share them. Around the world we share the same sky, the same moon, the same sun, the same stars. The stars are for everyone. I, Perseus, tell of land and sea, both near and far. I, Perseus, touch the stars. King Perseus of Argos had a daughter, just one child. And she was beautiful. He loved her, but he asked the oracle, "Will I have a son? Will I have another child, a son to rule after me?" And the oracle of Delphi came back with a response that was clear. "Your daughter will have a son, your grandson, who will rule after you. And I am glad," said Perseus, "and he will be the death of you." And Perseus fell into despair. Sorrow. Then my daughter cannot have a son. I cannot die. He had a tall tower built out of bronze. And there, beautiful young Ga2a, his daughter, was shut with a maid servant to tend to her needs, food, water. But she was trapped, hidden from the world, isolated, alone. Perseus tried to forget about his daughter's lot. But as she grew in beauty, Ga2a was perceived by the greatest of the gods, Zeus. And Zeus, in all of his lust, which we have all heard about, desired Ga2a. How could he enter that tower? He transformed himself into a shower of golden rain and fell, penetrating the tower of bronze, penetrating Ga2a's womb. And she was filled. The baby grew inside her, and this was not known to King Perseus. One day, as Perseus was riding past, he heard from the bronze tower the mewling cry of an infant child. He had the bronze tower broken, and there he saw his daughter, and he checked the baby was male. This, my grandson, the one that was foretold would defeat me and take my life. He listened to Ga2a, discovered that this child was the child of none other than Zeus himself, king of all gods. If I destroy the child, Zeus will have his revenge. I cannot do this. Rather, I will make a casket. And a wooden box was built, and into that small casket was placed his daughter Ga2a and the child which she held. And Perseus himself closed the lid and lifted with help that casket onto the waves that carried it far away, away from Argos. Surely that casket will sink, and it will not be my responsibility. He tried to forget. He ruled over Argos. Zeus and Athena on Mount Olympus knew all that was happening. They protected Ga2a and the infant child, Perseus. And they were carried safely to the shore of the island of Seriphos. And there on Seriphos there was a cruel tyrant of a king, Polydectes. Polydectes was selfish, all power hungry. Fortunately, it was not Polydectes that discovered the casket, but rather his poor brother Dictys. Dictys was a fisherman. He found the casket on the shore, prized it open. There was a young woman with a little boy. I will protect you from my brother. I will do you no harm, said Dictys. I will bring your child up as if it were my own. And with love and care, Dictys raised Perseus, and Perseus learned so much. And Dictys made sure his brother, King Polydectes, never knew about the child, or the woman, Ga2a, in all her grace and beauty. Ga2a was so lovely. Years passed, and Perseus had grown to a young man. But the inevitable happened. The discovery was made, the secret spread, and Polydectes heard about a beautiful woman that he had never seen, Ga2a, and when he met her, he was full of lust for her. You, Ga2a, are the woman I have been waiting for. You will be my queen. But I have no desire to marry you. Ga2a knew all about the tyrant. You cannot refuse me. There will be a wedding. All my subjects bring me gifts. There will be a wedding. And the subjects came from far and wide, and they brought gifts. Most of them brought horses as gifts for Polydectes. But brave young Perseus could not bear the idea of his mother being forced into marriage. Perseus summoned up the courage and strength, the power that he had inherited from Zeus, and Polydectes was faced by a young, brave hero. I, Perseus, tell of land and sea, both near and far. Can you all say that with me?
I, Perseus,
tell of land and sea, both near and far. I, Perseus, touch the stars.
I, Perseus, touch the stars.
I refuse. My mother will not marry you, King Polydectes. You cannot refuse it, Polydectes. If you are to be saved from this fate, then you need to bring me a greater gift than any other. Anything, said Perseus. I will bring you anything, whatever you ask for, if it will save my mother. Then bring me the head of the Gorgon Medusa! Even Perseus had heard of Medusa. You have heard of Medusa. She was once a human, a young woman. But she crossed Athena, and Athena had her transformed into a Gorgon to choose to stay and live with her two older Gorgon sisters in a far, far cave. Medusa was turned into a monster. Her hair became living snakes, writhing, poisonous snakes. And if she fixed her eye on you, you would be turned to stone. So horrible was her aspect, so terrifying was her gaze. Perseus had heard these stories. How could he do this? He did not know where to begin. Here he was on the island of Seriphus, a young man. But remember, the gods were watching. And Athena, his half-sister, sent her half-brother, winged Hermes, the trickster, down from Mount Olympus to talk with Perseus. Hey Perseus, I have gifts for you, gifts that will help you to take the head from Medusa. Perseus, my sister Athena gives you this shield, a shield that shines so brightly you can see yourself, your own reflection. And when Perseus gazed, indeed, it was the clearest mirror. I bring you this sickle sword to slice the head from the Medusa. It is sharp. It will cut through any material. Hermes said, and here is a sack in which you can take her head. Make sure you don't look at her, even after she's dead. Her gaze will turn you to stone. Here is the helm of Hades, a helmet that when you wear it makes you invisible, and none may see you where you are. And I give you my own winged sandals, Perseus, so that you may fly at great speed. Take these gifts. Thank you, said Perseus. I need them all, and I gladly accept. I must save my mother from the marriage to Polydectes. But tell me, where do I find Medusa? That I don't know, said Hermes. I cannot tell you. But as Hermes left, he said, the ones who may know are the Ga2a, the three old witches at the end of the world. Perseus bade farewell to his mother, Danae, to his father figure, Dictys, and left Seriphos, carried on winged sandals high into the sky. Say after me. I, Perseus, tell of land and sea, both near and far.
I, Perseus,
tell of land and sea, both near and far. I, Perseus, touch the stars.
I, Perseus, touch the stars.
And away, away he flew. Great distance was travelled, almost to the end of the world. And there he descended to the island where the Ga2a dwelt. The Ga2a, the most ancient of women, with the power of witches. They shared between them just one single tooth, which they would devour anyone who came close. Their hunger was great. And the Ga2a had between them a single eye. They were so old that only one eye remained, and they passed it between them and looked in all directions, trying to track their prey. Perseus watched from a distance, donned the helm of Hades, made himself invisible, and waited. And when one of the Ga2a said, "It is my turn for the eye," and reached wrinkly, long, claw-like fingers and took the eye from her sister, at that moment Perseus darted down on winged sandals, snatched the eye away and held it aloft. "Give us our eye! Give us our eye!" "I will return your eye to you," said Perseus, "when you tell me where I can find the Gorgons." "The Gorgons," said the three old sisters. "You don't want to go there. You will be petrified, turned to stone." "Then I will try," said Perseus, "but I will not give you your eye until you tell me where to find the Gorgons." "Very well. If you give us our eye first, no. Tell me first, and then I return your eye, otherwise I will destroy it." "Ha! Then it is on the island of Sarpedon." Perseus, hearing this, passed the eye back to the sisters and disappeared on wings before they could reach him with their single tooth and devour him as they had all others. And away flew Perseus, fast towards the island of Sarpedon. Are you ready? Let's say it together. I, Perseus, tell of land and sea, both near and far. I, Perseus, touch the stars. Perseus travelled on those winged sandals with such speed. Finally, the island of Sarpedon was beheld. He swooped down, and what he saw horrified him. Like strange statues, figures on the shore, everywhere he looked, with the most horrible expressions on their faces, frozen in terror, in horror. He stepped between them carefully. He donned the helm of Hades. He carried the sack and the sickle sword and Athena's mirror shield. The Gorgons were asleep in their cave. He approached the entrance of the cave. How can I do this? I must not look Medusa in the eye. Carefully, Perseus set the shield at the entrance to the cave, balanced it. It shone. Yes, the reflection. I will step into the cave. Backwards. Step. After step. They could not see him. They could not hear him. But they could smell him. They roused from their slumbers. It was Medusa that came first. Her face so horrible beyond any you can imagine. But Perseus did not look directly at her, rather at the reflection in the shield, and it was truly awful to behold. But he did not look directly at her, and he was not turned to stone. And with a leap backwards, he swept with a sickle sword, and it cut through her neck. And he picked up her head with snake hair living and writhing and dropped it into the sack. flew from the cave, picking up the shield. He flew up into the sky as the Gorgon sisters came railing after him, but could not reach him. He flew away, and as he rose, he carried along that great distance, carrying Medusa's head. Drops of blood fell to the ground below, and where every drop landed, a monstrous serpent appeared. Look behind, and there on the shore of Sarpedon, he could see the headless body of Medusa, and appearing from her neck, the most extraordinary sight, a huge, white, winged horse flying up and up to the heavens. This was the birth of Pegasus, child of Medusa. But that's another story. Perseus was on his way back to Seriphus to save his mother Danae. He was in a hurry. Fly, Perseus, fly. And as he went on, he saw below the land of Ethiopia. And what was this? The water was boiling, and the water was raging. A great storm. Down and saw the strangest of sights. There on the cliff face was bound a young woman. She was even more beautiful than his own mother. Her name, Andromeda. "Why are you here?" said Perseus to that bound maiden on the rocks. "Oh, I am Andromeda, and my mother is queen of this land. My mother, Cassiopeia, declared that I was the most beautiful living female in all worlds. And this has enraged Poseidon, god of the sea. He claimed that his daughters, the sea nymphs, were more beautiful than me, and to take revenge on my mother, he said that there would be an inundation, floods that would cover all of the land and everyone would be lost. But yet, if I was given in sacrifice to his creation, Cetus, the sea monster, then our land would be saved. And what could I say but agree? So I am waiting in this storm, and Cetus is coming." And as she spoke, the waves rose higher. The thunder crashed. All hell was let loose. "I will go to your mother." And Perseus flew to the palace of Cassiopeia, begged her, "Allow me to marry your daughter. I will save her from Cetus. If I defeat Cetus, I will marry your daughter and all will be well." And he said, "I, Perseus, tell of land and sea, both near and far. I, Perseus, touch the stars." And Cassiopeia was so impressed. She said, "Very well, I agree. Defeat Cetus and you can marry my daughter." And he went back to Andromeda and waited beside her. And they loved each other. Not a little. The monster appeared. 3 heads, mouths open, shining teeth, huge saucer eyes, swimming swiftly through the torment. They came towards Perseus. He leapt before them with his sickle sword, given by Hermes, and snicker snack through their 3 necks he sliced, brave and dancing quick. And Perseus was victorious. I, Perseus, tell of sea and land, both near and far. I, Perseus, touch the stars. I will marry your daughter Andromeda. He freed Andromeda, went to the palace of Cassiopeia, and there was happiness, joy, and the most wonderful wedding. But I must leave. My mother, Danae, must be saved from her wedding. Andromeda, come with me. And holding on tight, Andromeda went with Perseus, winged Perseus, flying up into the sky, still carrying in that sack the head of Medusa. High he flew above the land, high he flew over the seas. He flew all the way back to the island of Seriphos, and another wedding was underway. This wedding was joyless. A wedding of distress. Perseus saw his own mother, Danae, preparing to marry the cruel tyrant, Polydectes. Perseus entered the room. Polydectes, do not marry my mother. You, child, already returned. You have not completed the task I set. Mother, look away. He dropped the sack, held up the head of Medusa, did not meet her gaze. Polydectes was struck with horror, terror, and was petrified on the spot, as were all his sycophant followers, frozen to stone. Perseus discarded Medusa's head, went with his mother, meet Andromeda, my wife. And there was joy. And the people were freed from the tyranny of Polydectes on Seriphos and were happy. But no time passed before Perseus said, Mother, wife, I must leave you for a while, because you have told me the story, mother, of my grandfather, King Acrisius. I bear him no ill will. He will not die at my hand. Let us be reconciled. All will be well. Wait for me here. And Perseus once more went with Hermes' winged sandals, rising up into the sky. I, Perseus, tell of land and sea, both near and far. I, Perseus, touch the stars. And there was the shore of Argos. And Polydectes saw him coming and had heard the news and left the cliff top in a hurry, disguised himself among the poorest of his citizens. He was fearful, so that when Perseus arrived, he was welcomed. Everyone had known the stories, the exploits of Perseus, the great hero, the one who had cut the head from Medusa the Gorgon, the one who had saved his mother from the cruel Polydectes. They welcomed him. Our king is not here, but we will have games. And which sport will you play, Perseus? I choose the discus. Well, the ground was prepared, and the crowds on Argos gathered around. Even more of them than are gathered here tonight. The space was cleared, and he held the golden disc. Perseus, fleet-footed, agile, turned and span around and let fly the discus at such power, height and velocity. It was sure to beat any record. But the gods above were watching. And Zeus sent a great gust of wind, and the wind changed the direction as the discus flew and turned it towards the crowd. It flew among them and struck the neck of a hooded stranger who fell dead to the ground. "What have I done?" Perseus ran forward, and with the crowd surging behind, pulled the hood and saw a man who looked a little like his mother, but much older. A man whose gaze seemed not so different from his. This is Perseus, the Oracle of Delphi, is never wrong. But he was forgiven. The people of Argos welcomed Perseus, and Perseus ruled with Andromeda, his wife, over many lands. The people of the Mycenae, and they loved Perseus. Perseus and Andromeda had 9 children. The Perseids. Perhaps we will meet them tonight. I, Perseus, tell of land and sea, both near and far. I, Perseus, touch the stars. What is your wish for Tanabata? Sasa no ha sara sara, noki bani yureru, o hoshi sama kira kira, kingin sunago. Bamboo leaves rustling in the eaves, stars sparkling, grains of sand, silver and gold. And as you imagine tying your wish to the living bamboo, I'll tell you what my wish is. My wish is that my dear friend Hala can have her dream come true. That one day she can sit gazing at the moon and the stars together, happy with the one she loves, just as Andromeda and Perseus gaze at their children, Perseids.